Hi, this is Charlie, and welcome to Wednesday's video. I hope you're very well. I've titled this video Crazy Traders because I was doing obviously we'll talk about the whole election results in a moment. I was doing a presentation at the weekend actually, down at a trader event in London, and I was asked by a member of the audience, I don't know how it came up. He said, I was talking technically about some patterns. He said, where would you put your stops? Or that's if you use them. Do you use stops? And so I said, yeah. I said, if traders don't use stops, then they're setting themselves up for a big fall. And I said, I think traders are crazy not to use stop losses. And it was interesting because I was talking about the use of stops, and I said, look, the problem that we have is that if traders don't use stop losses, for argument's sake, look at this huge move obviously we had on the euro dollar last night, and then it's come all the way back down today. If a trader was shorting, for argument's sake, before it had obviously gone all the way up, they didn't use stops, they could potentially have blown their account yesterday on this whole run up. And likewise, if a trader was buying when they thought, okay, this is up, right, I want to be a buyer up here, and didn't use stops, then again, likewise, they could blow their account. Now, fun enough, I was long last night. During the night, there was about 80 of us in one of our trading rooms last night, so we all stayed up and pushed on through the night. I was eating hot dogs and drinking coffee, and so it was a fun night. But I got long, and obviously I've been wrong, and I've lost a few thousand overnight. I'm quite happy to accept being wrong. I'd rather lose a few thousand than lose tens and tens of thousands. So please use stop losses. It was interesting. I did this when I was doing this presentation. There was a chap in the audience who was speaking to another chap in the audience, and he confessed to the other guy that he didn't use stop losses. And when the guy asked him, this was privately, and I got told this later on, he said, well, when I use stops, I just kept on getting stopped out. And that's that whole avoidance of being wrong thing going on, where traders are so obsessed with being right that they'll do anything to maintain that. So this trader's saying, well, I kept on getting stopped out, so I stopped using them. And admittedly, traders can trade for quite a long period without using stop losses and get away with it. But ultimately, the trading Grim Reaper will come and get you, because it only takes a day like we had yesterday or overnight, where, for argument's sake, you're in trades and they go massively against you, that it could be an account killer. And doesn't matter how much money you've made in all the prior times, ultimately you'll end up blowing your account. So what's the point? And yet I see it over and over again. I've trained, I don't know how many thousands of people now over the last I don't know how many years we've been training, but maybe 14 years we've been training people, or maybe a bit less, sorry, 12 years. Is that right? 13 years I think it is. So you've seen it over and over and over again, and yet it's a shame when people don't listen to you and say, oh no, I don't use stops. No, 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 no. So please use stop losses, because I've been there, I've seen it, I've seen thousands of traders, and without fail I've never met a trader who doesn't use stops, or at least hedges or something like that, but doesn't use stops, who has got a track record of a long term track record. There are ways of not using stops, if you, for argument's sake, are trading really small relative to the size of your accounts, then you can do it, so you're always trading within your risk parameters. But for the majority aren't doing that. They still trade at normal position size, but then don't use stops, and that's when it can get dangerous, because all of a sudden the market could run against you, or on that one day you decide, actually that mental stop level that I have, I'll just see if it comes back, and it comes down a bit more. I'll see if it comes back, and it comes down a bit more. That's the danger. That's the danger. Right, over to the elections a little bit here. Obviously it was a huge night, and with Trump getting into power, or looking like that, I started looking on the long side, and had to cough up and pay up right up in the 112s, up in 112.30 odd I think it was, in that zone anyway, and then around that area, and then obviously I got stopped out. But like I said, I'm more than happy to just get stopped out and take a loss. I can always regather and reassess the markets and look at other trades, whether I think the market's going to go down or up. But I must admit, huge moves. It's made a right mess of this. So I think the general consensus was that if Trump got into power, that the dollar would weaken, but as we can see, that's not been the case. It's actually reversed, for now at least anyway. Maybe it'll become a bit clearer in the coming days, but for now I think the market's doing its usual good job of putting traders off the scent from wherever this market really wants to go. But as we can see, it's almost back down to the prior Trump news, so back down to yesterday's zone. So quite an incredible run we've seen. Right, I shall leave that with you. Back on Friday for live trading.